All right, so there's a series called The Pitt. Shay has been watching it. Not because it's like great or anything, but because it's like a popular show and people are watching it. The most recent episode, they decided to have a furry in it. The Pit is basically like it's maybe the most popular show right now because it's a hospital show and people just historically love hospital shows. You get to just install a lot of bright light from the ceiling. You know, lighting is made easier because your entire set is just so fucking bright all the time because it's a hospital. And apparently just what the show experiences like I've seen bits of it. I've seen some episodes just because Shay's watching it. They're on a shift and it's like there's so many crazy things happening on the shift. There's so many people that need help. It's a hospital show. And so then this most recent episode, they decided, oh, there's somebody that's a furry here. And also the show is set in Pittsburgh.
Yep, you have heat exhaustion.
Yep, heat exhaustion. Okay, and so that was earlier in the episode, and then like a bunch of stuff happened. And then it cut here, right? And then a bunch of stuff happens, and then it cuts here. So this character is kind of like scattered throughout the episode. And I found this funny because this fursuit is supposed to be like hanging up. But I guess someone's in it. I don't know what they're hanging it on. Like, it's not attached to anything. The person is not in the fursuit.
Hi, I'm
The person's here. Anyway.
Dr. Santos. This is student Dr. Kwan. How are you doing after the mist?
Better than I was an hour ago.
Okay, we are going...
I guess we can watch the rest of this on YouTube where the audio is not going to be as quiet. But those first couple moments were not on YouTube, so that's why I clicked on this one. Oh, wait, there's another little bit that wasn't on YouTube. I wish I could crank the volume higher. Whatever, we'll do the volume as high as possible, and we'll see.
Hi, I'm Dr. Santos. This is student Dr. Kwan. How are you doing after the mist?
Better than I was an hour ago.
Okay, we are going to check your vitals. Temp is 100.2 and heart rate is 96. Okay, down from 101.5 and 120. Very good.
Oh, you got heat exhaustion. Because you're in a fursuit.
You were out in the heat in that costume?
Yeah.
Also, Anthrocon's in the fucking summer in Pittsburgh, and it's too hot and it's muggy. It's like a sweaty hot. It's kind of gross. Like, why? And they have the outdoor parade. Like, fuck. I don't know.
With about 18,000 of my friends.
Were you
About 18,000 of my friends. That's the attendance of Anthrocon.
at Anthrocon?
Yeah.
What's
People in Pittsburgh know about it. People in Pittsburgh love Anthrocon.
that? Pittsburgh's annual furry convention. I go every year. Ever been?
So you go every year. You're a fucking novice at being a furry, and yet you gotta... I won't judge the fursuit, but it is a Temu fursuit. We'll talk more about that later. Bigger point, how did you get fucking heat exhaustion if you've been a furry for so long? You go every year. That's like step one of having a fursuit is avoiding heat exhaustion.
It's not really my scene.
Yeah, furries get a bad rap, but they're great people in the community. Creative, welcoming, funny.
It's true, but with your character only existing to show up and say that, I don't know who you're fucking talking to. I don't know who you're fucking talking, because there's either going to be people who already know that and go, yes, I agree. People who have never even heard of the concept of a furry before and just being like, whoa, okay, weird, what, huh, okay, well, whoa. They don't really delve into anything in this episode. And then third type of person, someone who knows what a furry is and hates furries. And to that person, I don't think they're going to be persuaded. I think they're going to see this as propaganda, which it kind of technically is. If you're literally only having this character to show up and be like, furries are not that bad. It's actually a bunch of creative artists and people. And then that's the extent of your character, and that's it. And then you're gone and never seen again.
I actually met my girlfriend at last year's convention.
That's cute.
She gave me hope after struggling on the dating apps.
Nice to hear that meeting people in real life still works.
Wouldn't recommend it, especially at work.
You should come to Anthrocon this weekend.
Doesn't she need a fursuit for that?
I think you'd make a good dragon.
Answer the fucking question. So that's another obvious thing they could have included in the show. Is saying, actually, most furries don't have fursuits. And they're expensive. But they just don't even answer the question. She goes, you make a good dragon. Or they. They might be non-binary. Chances are higher if they're a furry.
Every now and then, because he's really lonely.
Okay.
Every now and then, because he's really lonely.
Stay hydrated, preferably with electrolyte-rich drinks like coconut water.
Got you fucking covered, bro. I'm staying hydrated. But also, yeah, like what? How is this person a novice furry and just learning about hydration? You just learned about hydration today?
I'm a fan of coconuts.
Okay, Gatorade is also an option. Just
I love coconuts.
avoid alcohol and caffeine, and I suggest wearing light, breathable clothing.
Avoid alcohol and caffeine. Tell that to every furry. That's never gonna happen.
Boring.
Come back if your symptoms worsen. If you
Sorry, what?
Boring.
light, breathable clothing. And I suggest wearing light, breathable clothing.
I suggest wearing light, breathable clothing.
Boring.
Boring. Get a pet suit. They're light and breathable, and you can do things in them.
Come back if your symptoms worsen. If you develop a headache or confusion.
And that was it. And there's the whole character. That was all of it. That was all of it. That was the entire character on this show. And that was just, yeah, like they could have said, no, you don't need a fursuit for that. Someone made a fursona for the dragon doctor. That's fun. Yeah. Aw. The furry made us think of you. Some people are supportive. Oh, did they say you should come back next weekend for Anthrocon? That doesn't make any sense. Anthrocon is only one weekend. Did they actually say that and I didn't even catch that?
You in that costume?
Convention, I go rear.
Scene.
Yeah, furries get a bad rap, but welcoming. I actually met my girlfriend.
That's cute.
She gave me hope after struggling on the dating app.
Life still works.
Wouldn't recommend it.
You should come to Anthrocon this weekend.
She says this weekend.
You should come to Anthrocon this weekend.
So that was a misinterpretation from the commenter. So if she's saying this weekend,
Yep.
or
You
they,
have heat exhaustion.
that means they got heat exhaustion on the Thursday. Day one Anther. I've been to every year. I go to Anthrocon every year. I'm a novice furry. Get heat exhaustion on the Thursday and die. So anyway, the production of this show literally might have just Googled fursuit. And then bought a knockoff version of an existing character. So this is something that happens in the furry community where a piece of media, a show, movie, whatever, podcaster that don't know any better will buy a fursuit for a production and it's not a real fursuit and it's a knockoff. And knockoff is important because it's someone's existing character. This is the when someone makes a character, when someone makes a fursona, it's technically their intellectual property. So it is kind of annoying, especially when it's like, okay, they're using a photo of the real fursuiter. They're using a real fursuiter photo to try and sell like a cheap knockoff that is probably made in China, and that's probably why there's no lawsuit. They're definitely profiting, and like it just shows up looking really shitty, and that's basically a thing. And they just don't know any better if they don't consult real furries about it, or if they don't meaningfully consult real furries about it. So this is the real fursuiter who chimed in saying the crossover event of the century for Bivalo, which is just also just this quote is kind of funny. Yep, you have heat exhaustion. Also, let's just okay. What's up with this? What's up with this right here? It doesn't even fit your fursuit. Doesn't even fit you. The legs, the feet, the foot paws. They're very detached from the legs.